This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
It is lower than we were hoping for, definitely, but there's still time. There's still time to get out there and vote.
If you haven't voted, you still have 2 hours to cast your ballots. Election Day team coverage tops Channel 2 News at 5 o'clock. That's right, the polls close in just about 2 hours from right now, so you better hurry. Good evening, everyone. I'm Wendy DeMonte.
I'm Kristen Remington. Thank you for being with us this election night. That's right, a lot of people getting off work. Head to the polls if you can right now. We do begin with team coverage of Campaign 2014. Aaron Breen is live at the Registrar Voters Office after speaking with officials about how voting is going today. And Paul Nelson and Ariana Bennett are live at the Republican and Democratic headquarters where watch parties will be held tonight.
And Jennifer Burton is live in the newsroom with a look at how some are gathering signatures at polling places for measures they hope to put on the 2016 ballot. Okay, Aaron, let's start with you. Is everything set for the counting?
Boy, I tell you, Wendy and Kristen, everything has been set down here really since this morning. This isn't their first rodeo, you know. They've put on a lot of elections, and they really brought everything in. They've got extra workers here, and they say that everything's going rather steadily and rather smoothly. They had just over 25,000 voters out to go to the polls actually today for Election Day. And if they add that up, even with the early voting, they say it comes up to just about 39%. And even for a midterm election, they say that is low.
I kind of looked back over the last 20 years for a midterm election. The lowest that we've had is 51% turnout.
Oh, so this could be another low. Yeah.
It could be. Yeah. It could be. As much as I hate to acknowledge that, it's possible, yes.
And they do say that it's been steady all along since the early voting started, all the way through today when people were out. And they say that that will continue, they hope, until the polls close. And then all of the results will start coming in. That's about 7 o'clock tonight.
Usually the first cars start pulling in 7:30, 7:45. Probably the most will appear between 8 and 8:30.
So, you know, I can tell you, and you guys probably know this as well, I voted this afternoon. My daughter voted this morning. She told me it wasn't busy either. Really, there haven't been long lines to go in and vote. So you've still got 2 more hours to do it. And then we'll be right here as the results come in. Covering Campaign 2014, Aaron Breen, Channel 2 News.
Yeah. And same with early voting as well. No lines whatsoever. All right, Aaron, thank you. Okay, let's head over to Ariana now, live at a Slice of the Peak in downtown Reno.
And that's where Democrats will be holding their watch party later this evening. Ari.
Well, ladies, as you can see behind me, it hasn't quite picked up just yet. The volunteers have just come in. They're starting to set up shop. They do expect about 100 people coming down here as the polls start to close and things start to wrap up, because they're still out there pounding the pavement trying to get people to the polls. Now, it's going to be an interesting time for the Democrats this time around. There are no huge big ticket races with strong Democrat contenders in this election, so voter turnout might not favor the Democrats this time around. Now, the biggest races for Congressional Seat 2 and Nevada Governor don't have strong Democrat candidates. But there are some smaller ticket races that are hotly contested. They'll be watching the Secretary of State race, Lieutenant Governor, State Senate District 13 with Debbie Smith running to retain her seat. She is expected to come here tonight, Attorney General and State Treasurer as well, just to name a few. Now, if you look at the early voting numbers, Republicans statewide and in Washoe County did outnumber the Democrats this time. Here in Washoe County, about 6,000 more Republicans voted than Dems. So it will be interesting to see if the Dems came out to balance the scales today. Now, of course, as the polls close and more people start filing in, we will have reaction. We'll have interviews for you tonight. We'll stay on top of all the results. So keep it here. For now, Ariana Bennett reporting live for Channel 2 News. Send it back to you.
Yeah, you're right, Ari. It will be pretty interesting because Republicans are feeling pretty good about their chances tonight, especially as far as some of the incumbents are concerned. Governor Brian Sandoval and Congressman Mark Amodei are both expected to remain in office.
That's right. Paul Nelson joins us now live at the Peppermill with more from the GOP. Paul, how are things looking down there?
Well, Wendy, things are pretty well set up down here at the GOP watch party. A few people have trickled in, but most people won't be coming for about an hour. If you look around, all the tables ready. They got candles all over the tops of them. And the GOP has high hopes for tonight. You mentioned Sandoval and Amadei, but they also have several seats open for state Senate and Assembly. Right now, Democrats have the majority in both houses and hold the Senate by 1. If early voting's any indication, the Republicans have a head start on the Democrats. Only about a quarter of registered voters headed to the polls early, but about 23,000 more of those were Republicans than Democrats statewide. And as already mentioned, here in Washoe County, that gap was about 6,000 voters. GOP leaders say there's a good reason for it.
When the foundation of competence doesn't exist, as President Obama has shown us, now it makes people think one more time and say, is this the right direction? Is this what we want our country to be?
And back here live at the Pepper Mill, the GOP Watch Party is expected to get going in about an hour at 6 o'clock. And as you heard, they're expecting big things from this election. Covering Campaign 2014 live, Paul Nelson, Channel 2 News.
All right, Paul, we'll be sure to check in with you as well throughout the night. Well, if you voted today, you may have been approached by someone asking you to sign a petition.
Yeah, and that actually is allowed here in Nevada, but there are rules for in and around polling places. Jennifer Burton looked into what petitioners can and cannot do. Jen?
Well, Kristen, Nevada law allows people to gather signatures for petitions on Election Day as long as those petitioners stay a certain distance from the polling place.
Excuse me. Would you guys be interested in signing a petition?
This was the scene at Hidden Valley Elementary School today as people headed to the polls to vote. Marie Breen is gathering signatures on 2 petitions, one on legalizing marijuana, the other on background checks for guns.
What kind of reaction are you getting from folks, from voters today?
Either they want to sign or they don't.
What she's doing is legal according to Nevada law.
Some people have been opposed of me being here. They think it's not right, but I know my company here, Fieldworks, has gotten permission and that it is legal for me to be 100 feet from the door.
Certainly people can bring petitions to our polling places as long as they're outside that 100-foot marker. So it's not unusual on Election Day to see petitioners. I think there are several that are being circulated today, and it's something that we actually encourage as part of the process.
This may make some voters uncomfortable, but others say it's part of how our system works.
You don't actually see the people who are behind a petition. You only see the canvasser. So I don't know. You have to make up your mind each case.
I'll do it as long as I can.
Washoe County Manager John Slaughter says poll managers are trained to enforce the rules.
This is my 4th polling place today, and I really have seen no issues with it. I think people are approached by the petitioners, and if they want to engage, they do. If not, they are just walking right past them. So there's not really been a problem today.
Now, County Manager John Slaughter said politicians are also allowed to campaign on Election Day at public polling places as long as they stay 100 feet away from the door. Covering Election 2014 live in the newsroom, Jennifer Burton, Channel 2 News.
All right, good explanation there, Jen. Thank you. And of course, we will keep you posted once results coming in after the last ballot is cast about 7 o'clock tonight. Results might be in around 7:30.
As we saw earlier today, though, plenty of voters are happy to sound off on who they voted for and why. John Potter takes us to the polls.
A sleepy Tuesday at Spanish Springs High School, but a very big day for 19-year-old Colton O'Gorman, who today cast his very first vote. One of those milestones that's hard to put into words.
You know, first time voting. I didn't really know what to expect, but it was good, I guess.
A few voting machines away, Victoria Moore had been waiting to do this for weeks. She could have early voted, but it just wouldn't be the same.
It just makes you feel better when you vote on Election Day for me.
She had a favorite candidate, but really wanted to vote against someone.
It's against Obama.
But he's not even running.
I know, but we need more Republicans. We need to get Obamacare out.
And so it went. After the morning rush, turnout was slow today, but the steady stream coming in here to the Spanish Springs High School Gymnasium was a nice surprise for poll workers who, when talking with voters, got a sense of the mood this election day.
People are interested in the issues this year, and I think they want to come in and vote on those, and they have an interest.
Brad called it. Folks we met didn't have a candidate in mind so much as an issue or a complaint.
This country, as far as I'm concerned, is going down the tube. We have to make a change and get back for what we stand for.
Taxes brought David Moore to his polling place.
Question number 3, I do not want more taxation. I do not want more stuff happening than what we already have.
Without a presidential or Nevada Senate race, issues like these kept up the interest in the voters coming in. But besides the interest, we also detected a bit of weariness.
I guess it's over, yeah, for another 2 years, and then we're back to the drawing board again on it, you know. So,
well, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yes, all right, thank you.
Covering Campaign 2014, John Potter, Channel 2 News.
Along with the races we're watching here in Nevada, voters are still casting ballots all across much of the nation.
That's right. This midterm election will determine which party controls the Senate for the last 2 years of President Obama's second term. And CBS News is projecting Republicans have picked up an extra seat in West Virginia, with Shelley Capito projected to win there. Now, 1/3 of the Senate is on the ballot, but the focus is on 9 toss-up races. Republicans are looking to pick up 6 seats and take control of the Senate. If that happens, Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell will likely become majority leader.
Obviously, the president is the only person who can sign something into law. So whether we can make much progress in the next 2 years depends upon him.
In recent polling, nearly 2/3 of voters say the country is on the wrong track. The economy remains the most important issue, followed by health care. But perhaps the most telling number, 79% of voters say they disapprove of the job Congress is doing now. Georgia's race could be on everyone's mind for several more weeks. Republican David Perdue and Democrat Michelle Nunn may face a runoff. Louisiana could also go into overtime. We'll keep you posted.